Welcome to another video, and this one is on Microbit Classroom. So Microbit released this at the start of, I think it was start of the lockdown period, obviously in 2020. So they have released this to use in the classroom. It's a really nice, simple way of sharing your code, your screen, seeing what the students are working on and having that interaction with students, whether you are with them in the classroom or home learning. So we're going to name the activity, so I'm just going to call this obviously a starting point, so I'm just going to put testing work. Okay, so I'm going to click on to make code. So make code is the block based programming language that is used and has the inbuilt simulator. You can do this with Python, but it doesn't have the simulator within it, so you can't test it out without actually having the physical microbit. And then I'm going to launch Classroom. And the first screen I see is this instructions, and it gives me just a bit of an overview, and it just helps me if I get stuck on where to go and what to look at. The main aspect that I'm looking at is this up here, this navigation. And first off, we have the editor. So this is where everything is that we can then share with our students. So if you are giving them a program to run, straight off, you can set it all up. We can set up blocks that they might want to use so that they can actually follow a task and build it up. And that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to get rid of that one for a second, and I'm going to set it up as I'm going to have two inputs. And you'll see that one of them's gone grey, and the reason for that is because they're both set as when A is pressed, and we can't have two of them running. But I'm going to leave it like that because I want the students to change it to B, which they would just do by selecting the drop down menu there. And then I'm just going to, for this purpose of this activity, I'm just going to show you really basic. So we're just going to bring in a couple of options for them to use, and let's have some music which they can set up, and we're going to have another icon which they can change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my comments to actually help direct what I want the students to do. So I'm going to right click on the block and add a comment. So I get this pop up here. So I'm going to use the terminology that I want to hear them saying. So when A is pressed, show a heart. I don't want to use exact wording on the blocks because obviously it's more about them finding that as well. Show a heart and play a tune. Okay, so as you can see that now I've got this on here, we've got this comment, and I'm going to do the same over here. So I'm going to right click, add a comment, just going to move it over. So when B is pressed, oops, show the word hello and show a happy face. So I've set up this little task. I've got it set up so that they can see what they need to do. Make it so that they've got the blocks underneath, and I've given them a starting point. Obviously there's lots of blocks over here. It's up to you, can add more into this. We could add loops, we could add in selection, we've got variables. There's a lot more in advanced as well. We've got the simulator over here as well, so that we can test those things out. So for instance, if I put in my heart into there, we've got, so when A is pressed, show a heart. If I just take that out a second, you see it goes grey, and that means that the program is loading. So as I put that in, it's updating the program that is loaded on the microbit. The colour appears, I know it's ready to work. So if I press the A button, I've got that heart visible. And I've got the B button here as well, so I can see how it works. So it's simulating what's happening. So I've put those there. I've now got my task that I want to share with my students. And the way I need to do that is by going to my dashboard, and this is what students see, what they need to use, to actually load in and log in and open up that task. So as I say, this information is what the students look at. So I'm going to come back to this because I'm going to show you what they see when they log in. So let's just have a look at the other options up here. So we've got student code. okay, which is empty at the moment because I have no students within my classroom, so I can't see what they are looking at and what they are doing. And then I also have the Save Classroom. So this is where I can download my classroom HTML file, and as I do that, you'll see down here it just downloads this, and it's in my downloads area. Now what I would recommend is obviously you put that somewhere safe, and you also rename it so you know which class it is, because as you can see you get this series of numbers there. Okay, but when I click on that, you opens up the classroom again, and I can resume it. I'm not going to do that now, so I'm just going to go back to there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you what a student sees first so that we can see. So I'm going to open up, so they need to open up this here. Okay, so this is what a student logs in. The nice thing is that URL never changes, so that is always the same. So they're always logging on to microbit.org/join. Okay, but this changes each time. So this time we've got yellow, panda, tractor, sunglasses. Okay, so we go find that within the list: yellow, panda, tractor, and sunglasses. And then we've also got that pin number here as well. I'm just going to copy that over. So that's what you need to share with students so that they can access the classroom. So quite nice that it's drop down menus, but you've got that pin number as well to share. And I'm going to press continue. And now it's going to ask me for my name. So I'm going to pop my name into there. And I have now joined that classroom. What you can see is I can't see anything at this moment. So I'm just going to go back to what I see as a teacher. So as you can see, I go back onto here to see what the teacher sees, and I now have that student visible within my classroom. And I can see that I have one student joined, so I can see who I'm missing within the classroom. But as I say, that student can't see anything at the moment. So I need to go onto my editor, and I need to share that code. So if I click share code, and now you can see that that student that has logged in is an option for me to send it to. So I can untick it and send it to who I want to in the classroom, or I can send it to all students. So I'm going to send that code, and I'm going to go back to being a student, and I now have had a message to say your teacher has sent me some code. So I can open that up, and I now have that task for me to complete. Now notice the difference that I have no navigation bar at the top here. There's nothing else for me to do but do the task and then click when I'm finished. So obviously I need to work through that task. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start doing that. So I'm going to show my heart and play a tune. I'm just going to turn my volume down, otherwise you're going to get blasted with the sound. You'll notice here that as soon as I added that play melody block, I get this, my simulation has changed because it is now built in that speaker element so that it will play a tune. So I'm just going to quickly put a tune on, and then I'm just going to go over here. Now before I do any further, I'm just going to jump back and show you what the teacher can see at this point. Okay, so I'm going to go back over, and I'm going to go to student code this time. Now what you can see now is what that student is working on and what progress they're making, what have they done. So I can see here that she's actually got the A button, we've got the heart, and we've got the melody there. We've still got the issue with the two A's, and we haven't finished. But I can watch that student as I am working through the task, watching them doing it, so I can support them and kind of pick up any misconceptions and help them as I need to. I'm going to go back, and obviously I'm just going to finish off what the task needs to be. So this one needs to be B, and then we need a happy face. Okay, so just to show you that it shows on there, so it will update. There you go, you saw it update to show what the program is that that student has created. So I've finished this task now, and I need to tell my teacher that I have finished, and I'm going to click I've finished, and then say how I felt about that task. Just a bit of feedback for the teacher. Was it nice and easy? Did I find it hard? Did it stress me out? But I'm just going to click there, and I have now finished. So if I go back onto here, you can now see that instead of saying in progress, it tells me that that student has finished and how they feel about the task, and I can see that there. Now the nice thing as well is that if I go to save this classroom now, I actually am saving it with the student's code within it, so that I can open it up at a later time, look at the program, use it for evidence, use it for assessment, and it's stored there until I obviously delete the HTML file. So nice and easy way of doing it. You do need to create a different classroom every time you do this. It's obviously the different task in there is a different classroom, so that you can create it, use it, save it, and come back to it obviously when you want to. Okay, so everything's there. We've got the student code, we've got the dashboard where that information is that you're sending out of how to join your classroom, as well as knowing who's in there. You've got where the task is, so that you can set up that task, set up the instructions using comments if you want to, and obviously share that too. If you do have Microbits, then you do just use it the same as before, is you can actually download to the Microbit, pair it, and you can share obviously the code straight onto your Microbit and test it out with a physical device too. And if I get stuck anywhere, I've got that instructions element at the front just to give me those prompts if I need that little bit of help. So I hope you found that useful. It's a really good tool, Microbit Classroom, and look forward to seeing you again on another video. Thank you.